pass there over the screens on Poole. Poole lets it rip. That's good too.
And again, it's a switch out, and Christian stays below the screens.
Trying to get it to Jokic. Why not? Hand off Murray. Murray on the dribble drive. Pulls up. Good! Jamal Murray for the second straight night. Is a terrific clutch player. 5.3. We're tied at 123. Poole's got it. He lets it rip. Oh, no!
No timeout.
He drills it. Nuggets with a heave from Jokic. And that is it. Jordan Poole has the game winner to beat the Denver Nuggets.
Overthinking? I think we need more thinking.
Nuggets back in Ball Arena take it to the wire with the Washington Wizards. What happened? Let's find out. You're listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about the Nuggets with good vibes. Let's get it.
Let's try to get healthy. Let's stay together. And if we can do that, we put ourselves in a good situation.
And over the shoulder, no looker.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler here for another take of Nuggets basketball. So I'm not wearing normally my Nuggets hat today because I felt a little bit more Broncos-like with the playoffs starting for the Broncos. So I wanted to support them today. And great win from the Broncos in the clutch. And the thing I've been just feeling all season with the Broncos is just they've been lucking out with every single win. And I kind of felt like their luck had to kind of run out eventually. And so I haven't been 100% sold that they were going to win the Super Bowl. They could still very well prove me wrong and win the Super Bowl, and I hope that they do. But then we saw them luck out this one for sure. And then we saw the news that Bo Nix broke his ankle, and he's out for the rest of the playoff season. So that's where the Broncos' luck just ran out. And because of that, you could tell every Bronco fan that was in the arena for the Nuggets was solemn. Even in the watch along for the DNVR, the guys were solemn. It was just a very anticlimactic feeling after winning an amazing game, only to find out that your quarterback is no longer going to be available for the rest of the playoffs. And it's a very tough loss to swallow. They haven't lost yet, but just to lose Bo Nix is a really tough loss to swallow. And hope that he gets better soon. The fact that he needs surgery does not look good. Normally when you need surgery, it only kind of continues re-injuring that whatever was injured. And so I hope it doesn't ruin his career. I hope he battles back and he's stronger than ever next season. And if it's a bone, I guess that's a little bit better than if it's a ligament or soft tissue and everything. So just hopefully that he heals back and that the Broncos can get the job done without him. But so go Broncos! Glad they won against the Bills. And with this game, the Nuggets game, so back home for a 3-game homestand, the Nuggets continued to prove how deep the team is taking on the Washington Wizards. That might not sound very good or impressive, and it's not. Anytime you include the Washington Wizards in a sentence, whatever it's going to be is not going to be impressive. You could go for 50 against the Wizards, and it wouldn't be impressive. It'd be like, oh, they won against the Wizards by 50? That checks out. The fact that any team ekes out a win against the Wizards says something more about the level of play of the team who won than the Wizards. Because the Wizards are just the worst team possible. Maybe the worst team in the last 10 years. of basketball. Definitely the worst team in the history of the NBA, but especially like this specific team or this phase of the Wizards is definitely I would rank it as either one of the worst teams in history of NBA or the worst in history. So they are definitely trying to do their hardest at tanking, and there's just some teams, aka the Nuggets, who don't want the gimme. They want to work hard for it. Little respect to that at some point, but at some point you just got to take the win when you can, even if they're trying to just hand it over to you. I know it doesn't feel right, but just take it. Just take it and move on. You don't need to prove a point. Just take the win and keep on moving forward. That's the pre-context of this game here. So the injury list going into it, again, we have no CB, Cam Johnson, Jokic, Big Val. They all were out. Jamal Murray, AG, Brucey B listed as probable, but they would actually play. And Jamal, man, did he play. He played. The starting lineup for your Nuggets was Jamal Murray, Jalen Pickett, P. Watt, Spencer Jones, and Aaron Gordon. The Nuggets were in their Skyline jerseys, and the Wizards were in their white jerseys. And the Nuggets finally got the win. It was not by more than just pure gutting it out. But the final score, 121-115. There you go, Nuggets. I'm glad to see you get the job done against the worst team in the league, in history. Thank you for finally getting the job done. It was not a fun game to watch, I will tell you that. Like, trying to be positive, it was not a fun game to watch. It was pretty much a slog the entire time. And I blame the Wizards. I 100% blame the Wizards for this. They had a tactic to reverse, think or reverse engineer or whatever the idea of the energy of the game. So they came into this game very lackadaisical, low energy, making the Nuggets think that they just didn't want to play. And it worked because the Nuggets just ran the court on them on the first quarter. And then when they started to realize that it was too easy and that the other team didn't really want to play, the Nuggets started to hold back. And when the Nuggets started to hold back, then they started to not feel like they wanted to play the game. And as soon as they felt like they didn't want to play the game, the Wizards flipped it back on. And all of a sudden, it was like a surprise attack of, oh, joke's on you, we actually do care about this game. And they started playing super hard and physical, getting them all the calls. And then by that time, it was too late for the Nuggets to really care about the game. And so they had to fight an clear uphill battle against the worst team in the league to get anything. And the Wizards, mind you, are on the second end of a back-to-back. They lost last night against Sacramento, and they flew from Sacramento to the Mile High, so no sleep. We saw this last season. Was it last season or the season before with the Suns? I remember there was a game against the Suns where the Suns were on the second end of a back-to-back, and then they pulled out a win on the Nuggets when the Nuggets were on the first end of a back-to-back or a first game or whatever, and they had just come off of a horrible overtime loss or win or whatever in Phoenix, and so they were huffing and puffing in, it was the Kings. That was what it was. It was the Kings. The Kings faced the Suns in an overtime, and they won. Or no, they lost. I think they lost. And then they came to the Mile High to gut it out against the Nuggets and ended up winning. So, I guess you got to give the Wizards credit for trying to find some kind of game plan to get at least a win They are on a 5-game losing streak, so they have only 10 wins. They're tied for the worst team in the league right now. And they just, as soon as they did that, the Nuggets had an uphill battle the entire time, which is just crazy to me. Especially, they don't even have Jordan Poole anymore on their team. They don't even have Trae Young playing right now. They just traded for Trae Young, and they got rid of CJ McCollum, which I just realized, too, that because of that, CJ McCollum got traded to the Hawks. We already finished up facing the Hawks, so we will not face CJ McCollum ever this season, which is kind of interesting, unless he gets traded again to another team. But I find that doubtful. So, case in point, though, is like we have one more opportunity maybe to face Trae Young, because Trae Young, if you remember, sat out in both games that we faced the Hawks in when we did face them. So I don't know if we will actually face Trae Young if he plays, because we play the Wizards again in just like a few weeks. So I don't know exactly when he plans on playing, but he wasn't playing tonight. They had their like annoying power forward K George, who put up 29 on us. He was super annoying. I think he might be related to Keon George in the Utah Jazz, but or Keontae George, I should say. And man, so what happened in this game? Well, let's break it down. So first quarter, the Nuggets win the tip, and immediately Pickett hits a 3 for the first bucket of the game, followed by a 3 from Murray. Looked like the Nuggets were just on fire. P-Watt again for 3, gets the Nuggets lead to 7 before Wizards finally respond with a 3. Back-to-back buckets from the Wizards makes it a 2-point game. So they start to play a little bit harder. Spencer then keeps the Nuggets on fire from beyond the arc to sink another 3. And then back-to-back buckets from Jamal gets the Nuggets back up by 6. And Nuggets managed to build an 11-point lead from Wizards just unable to sink buckets and just not really caring about playing. The Nuggets keep getting beaten on the play, from stopping to thinking a whistle. Like, they would play hard and then they would just stop playing, thinking that their whistle was going to come. And because the whistle never came, the Wizards continued playing and they would score. And that was kind of a little bit of the transition into the effort that the Nuggets were putting into this. Suddenly, it's a 4-point game because of that. And Tim Hardaway Jr. was phenomenal tonight. I'm trying to get a better word use, because I do realize I use phenomenal a lot, but there's just no better word to use right now than that for him. He was fantastic, but I feel like phenomenal just really is a little, it goes to 11 for me. He was just incredible, and he actually got a 30 ball tonight. Not the most points from a Nugget, if you would believe that. So Tim Hardaway Jr. sinks a buzzer beater 3 at the end of the quarter. Nuggets outscored the Wizards 36-29. Second quarter, Nuggets start off with the quarter with a lineup of Brucey B, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jalen Pickett, Zeke, and Julian Strawther. As neither team is able to sink a bucket, Zeke blocks Bagley's dunk attempt, leads to Tim Hardaway Jr. to sink another 3 for the first bucket of the second quarter. Brucey B then collects the rebound, fights for the defender as he races down the court in transition, lobs it up for Tim Hardaway Jr. for the dunk. This was an insane dunk. No one realized that there was this amount of hops in Tim Hardaway Jr. right now, and he showed us all that he still had it. I hope it's a highlight, because man, does it deserve to be. Nuggets then with turnovers leading to leads for the Wizards, or the Nuggets lead to get cut down by 1. Strawther looking really rough. He was looking super rough tonight, most likely because he just hasn't been playing a lot, and it kind of showed. There's a couple of plays here and there where he would actually play well, or made a good play, but for the most part, he was just a brick or a cement block tied to the Nuggets right now, sinking, like holding them down. He was just dead weight, and he caused turnovers, couldn't grab buckets, and let's see, did he get? No, he didn't get a single bucket, and he played 5 minutes tonight. So not a good stretch of minutes. But I would say that if you had to play him, tonight was the night. Starters then check back in at the 7:38 mark. Murray is then left wide open at the baseline, gets a bunny hop to get the Nuggets back up by 7, and then Nuggets, not boxing out, gets the Wizards to have second chance points. This has been a big issue. I've been talked about it before. David Edelman has even brought it up in several of his pressers. I'm sure he talks about it several times in the locker room. The Nuggets just do not box out right now without their bigs, without Valanciunas, without Jokic. The only guy who's boxing out right now is Jalen Pickett, and he is the smallest guy on the team. He tried. I will give him credit. He tried in this one. He was just too small. Czar was way too big, and Bagley was way too big, and they would typically double team him in the paint, and he wouldn't get a chance to even try to out strengthen those two dudes. So, I mean, it is what it is. But man, it's really frustrating to see when your team cannot even grab a single rebound. That leads to, like I said, second chance points, and then P. Watt goes to the line to make both free throws and gets the Nuggets first to 50. Murray's efficiency from beyond the arc still is very hot as he continues to rain threes on the Wizards. Then Nuggets don't get back through transition, and Bub Carrington hits a three to tie the game at 53. And then immediately he picks off a steal and an inbound pass, gets a uncontested dunk to take the lead for the Wizards. And then Spencer Jones, off an assist by Murray, gains the Nuggets the lead by 1. And then Sarr gets fouled, goes to the line, and ties the game back up at 56. Middleton hits a three to gain a 2-point lead. And then the Nuggets respond with turning over the ball again. Sarr gets a dunk to get the Wizards up to 4, their lead up to 4. The Wizards end the second quarter on a 22-10 run. Murray then gets hot and sinks a long 2. We were hoping that it was a 3, but it would get demoted to a 2. And the Wizards still outscored the Nuggets, though, 34-26, and take a 63-62 lead into the half. Third quarter, the Nuggets start off with the starters as Sarr gets a layup plus the foul for the first bucket of the quarter. And then AG throws it up at the baseline to get the Nuggets on board. Followed by AG to P. Watt for a reverse layup, gives the Nuggets a lead by 1. So the Nuggets still were hanging in there, but there would be times where they got down as much as like 8 or 9, and it didn't look good for the Nuggets. I think actually no more than that. I think they had a 10-point lead, 10 or 11-point lead at one point. Corner 3 by George gives the Wizards the lead by 2. Wizards just won't stop. Now the lead balloons to 8. As they play the Nuggets, just making them really think that they don't care about the game. And now the Nuggets see that they actually do care about the game, and the Nuggets are trying to get back in the game, but it's too tough. Wizards then challenge a goaltending call on Bagley. It would be unsuccessful. Really weird challenge, if you ask me. Like, it seems pretty blatant that it was goaltending call, and even if you got that reversed, you're still not winning the game, and it wouldn't even put you in any kind of favor, because then it would just go back to the Nuggets. So because they had the ball afterwards. So Zeke then gets a layup through cutting the defenders, gives the Nuggets some life, and then cuts the lead to 7. Tim Hardaway Jr. then sinks a 3 again, cutting it to 3, and the Nuggets get outscored once again in the third, 23-21. So it was a very boring third quarter. Like, you could just tell the energy in the entire arena was down. The energy on the watch-along, DNVR watch-along was down. My energy was down. It just felt so sluggish and just kind of like, okay, let's just finish this game up. Like, no one wants to watch it. No one wants to be there. No one wants to play it. Like, let's just finish this game up. And then you saw the energy from the Washington Wizards looking like they had stole candy from a baby and were looking so proud of themselves for getting some calls their way and some buckets and everything. Like, it was just embarrassing for all involved. So then the fourth quarter, the Nuggets start off with a lineup of Tim Hardaway Jr., Spencer Jones, Zeke Naji, Jamal Murray, Brucey B, as Hardaway gets fouled, goes to the line, sinks both free throws to get the first buckets of the quarter. Nuggets then aren't able to defend as the game just goes into a bucket trading contest. Finally, Zeke tries to make a three, misses it. On the other end, George makes a three to pull away, gets the lead for the Wizards back up to 7. And then Hardaway Jr. sinks a three to cut it to 4. Then they actually get a tech call on, I think it was Bub Carrington or one of those guys, as he was hanging on the rim, and gives the Nuggets 1 point. And then Hardaway Jr. sinks another three to cut it to 1. Middleton then gets a putback off of his own miss, gets the Wizards first to 50 or to 100, plus the foul. And then the Nuggets just not getting aggressive enough all game now shows that opting to play harder is now going against them, as the calls actually go more in favor of the Wizards than they do the Nuggets. Finally, Bruce to Tim Hardaway Jr. for the layup and the foul gets the Nuggets to tie the game at 102. Jamal Murray then sinks a three, gets the Nuggets up by 3. Then he would respond, though, with back-to-back turnovers, leads to another tied game at 105. Tim Hardaway Jr. then drives to the rim, throws it down, left hand. That was, one of the few times you see him opt not to take the three. He drives to the lane and dunks it down with the left hand. Awesome play there. And then Aaron Gordon hits a very clutch three that gives the Nuggets a little bit of breathing room, gets them back up by 3. However, Middleton would respond with a three to tie it back up at 110. And then luckily the Blue Arrow showed up, and he responded with a 3 and then kept on raining down buckets on the Wizards to try to take the win away from them. George, in the final seconds, wouldn't give up. He's a very young, spirited young lad who just continued to play despite the fact that his team was going to lose. He just really wanted to show that he, had some kind of gusto in him. So he sinks a 3 at the final seconds there. And doesn't matter, though. Nuggets still outscore the Wizards 38-29. And with Nuggets win 121-115. Oh, thank God. I'm so glad that we did not lose that game. That's all I'm going to say. Let's go Nuggets, yes. But the Wizards are the worst team in NBA history. And yet somehow they still manage to play hard when they play the Nuggets, as if they have something to prove specifically against the Nuggets. They have some kind of vendetta against the Nuggets that always makes them play hard against them. They almost got the win tonight, too, by tricking the Nuggets into thinking that they didn't care about this game. But it was the fourth quarter effort that pushed the Nuggets over the edge to finally retake the lead and the win. This is one of those games you think should be easy, but if the team isn't locked in and showing that they want to play, then it becomes a grind for 48 minutes. And that's what we saw today. A very tired and not wanting to work like a normal person feels at their job. But the fact they dug deep just shows still they do have it in them to get these wins. And no matter how tough it may look, they are still going to gut it out. And that's kind of what you saw. So let me know in the comments what you think. But I really, I'm proud that they got the win, but I'm disappointed that it had to come at such a clutch scenario against such a horrible team. You got to play. You got to play better. Like, it's just unanimous. You have to play better. The Spurs blow out teams that are sub 500. The Dust Bunnies, OKC Dust Bunnies, blow out teams that are sub 500. Even, the Rockets or the the Rockets lost to like 3 sub 500 teams and got blown out by them. So not the Rockets. That's a bad example. But, the Timberwolves or the Pistons, like there's several other teams who blow out sub 500 teams out of the water. Nuggets need to do that. They can't just keep on eking by these easy teams to get wins. You got to blow them out. You got to send a statement to the rest of the league that, hey, we're not going to, pull off on these guys. We're going to continue to play hard no matter who you are. But that just isn't how the Nuggets have ever really operated. They've always just been kind of this pick or choose their battles rather than just going hard the entire time. So and that is what it is. But let's get into stats here. So Spencer Jones played 29 minutes tonight. He made 7 points, 3 rebounds. He had 1 steal, 3 for 4 from field, 1 for 2 from 3. He had 0 turnovers. 2 personal fouls, was a -6. Peyton Watson played 35 minutes tonight, 21 points. So he's still, digging into the 20 bag, but he didn't have as great of a game tonight, despite that awesome point stat there. He did have 5 rebounds, 2 steals, or 1 steal, 2 assists, and 1 block. He was 8 for 14 from field, 1 for 2 from 3, 4 for 8 from free throws. 50% of his free throws. That is not good. You got to practice your free throws. You can't be missing 4 free throws. Like, come on now. Maybe 1. You get like 1 miss, but to miss 4. He had 2 turnovers, 5 personal fouls, was a +5. Then Aaron Gordon, Mr. Nugget, had a near triple-double tonight. Too bad. He actually didn't have as good of a shooting night tonight, though he did play 32 minutes despite minutes restrictions. He had 8 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. So he actually had the most amount of assists tonight. 1 steal. He was 3 for 8 from field, 1 for 3 from 3, 1 for 2 from free throws, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, was a +14. He was the biggest plus or minus tonight as well for any Nugget. Jalen Pickett played 22 minutes tonight. He had 5 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. He was 2 for 7 from field, 1 for 6 from 3, and then he had 0 turnovers, 1 personal foul. He was a +8. And then our main man, Jamal Murray, or our current main man, because the real main man is Jokic, MV3, but the current one right now, Blue Arrow, played the most amount of minutes of any Nugget with 39 minutes and got 42 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He was 15 for 24 from field, a 62%. Nice. 5 for 8 from 3, another 62%. He was 7 for 8 from free throws, 5 turnovers, 1 personal foul, was a +5. And I guarantee you some of those turnovers, 2 of those turnovers were bad. They just were bad. I can't excuse them, but a lot of them, when you are the main ball handler, it will lead to more turnovers because there are more eyes on you and more hands trying to get the ball from you. And so it does tend to lead to more turnovers. But 5, that's bad, but at least it's not actually Jokic bad. Like, Jokic is actually the worst in turnovers. However, Jamal Murray was able to at least rein it in a little bit. And then from the bench, I'm not going to read everyone, just Tim Hardaway Jr. 35 minutes tonight, 30 points, 2 rebounds. He was 10 for 18 from field, 5 for 11 from 3, 5 for 5 from free throws. So the only Nugget tonight that made all of his free throws, thank you, Tim. 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls, was a 0. Full stats here, we got 38 rebounds to their 48, good God, and then 31 assists to their 20, so we did out assist them. We had 7 steals to their 9. We had 4 blocks to their 4. We shot 52% from field. They shot 45%. And we shot 40% from 3. They shot 36%. We shot 73% from field, or from free throws. They shot 55%. We had 12 turnovers. They had 11. We had 21 personal fouls. They had 17. So, always kind of crazy when you look at that kind of stuff, especially when they're not playing to the level that they could be, for sure. So, but definitely giving the game ball, or the props, the flowers to Mr. Blue Arrow tonight. So, real quick before we head out, just a little quick update on the around the association. So the Lakers right now are losing to the Portland Trailblazers. Hopefully that continues, pulling for the Blazers there. They're in the fourth quarter right now. Final scores elsewhere, though. Dallas won against Utah, 138-120. Boston beat Atlanta, 132-106. Detroit beat Indiana 121-78. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Good teams blow out horrible teams. Nuggets, get on it. Make some statements. You still got to face the Wizards one more time. Make a statement. My poor Knicks are in a bind right now. They have lost a lot of games. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now. They lost again tonight to the Phoenix Suns, 106-99. And then, luckily enough, OKC lost to Miami, 122-120. But however, the Spurs won tonight against Minnesota, 126-123. I was hoping that they would lose, because then that would actually help the Nuggets retake the second seed. We are tied with them right now. And because they got that win over us, that one win, we've only faced them once, but because of that, that gives them the tiebreaker. So they are technically in second seed. We're in third. So we definitely needed to win tonight to maintain that. But if they lost, we would have retaken that second seed. Hopefully we can do that tomorrow. The Golden State Warriors beat the Hornets 136-116, who is the next team we are going to face tomorrow. The Charlotte Hornets come into the Mile High. So another team taking a loss and then heading into the Mile High, probably not going to get a lot of sleep. The Nuggets got to play well tomorrow. They got to play well. No ifs, ands, or buts. So, but that's pretty much all I got for this episode. I'm just really glad the Broncos won, the Nuggets won. Sad to see that the Avs lost last night, but hopefully they can get a rebound win coming here soon. And then we got we'll be back tomorrow again, like I said before, with the Hornets. But that's pretty much it I got. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Share it to your friends and family. And if you do feel gracious enough to give me a donation, the link for the PayPal is in the description below, as well as on the profile page. You can tack on a take of a player or a team or the game or another game or another team or another sport or a movie or a music, whatever. I'll read it, shout you out on the next episode. But I really appreciate it. But you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about the Nuggets with good vibes. We'll catch you later.